The 9th and final stage of this year's Tour de France FEMMES takes place almost exclusively in Haute-Savoie. The stage kicks off here in Praz, Arly, before heading through Megève, down through Solange and then onwards to Porte du Soleil. The race is due to depart from here at 15:20, with the caravan setting off around 2 hours earlier, and then yeah, should be finishing in Chatel around about 7 PM, depending on the speed they're riding, of course. The start line is actually here on this rather nondescript back road next to the car park for the ski centre, rather than running through the actual high street on Praz Arly. I guess it's logistically easier having the start line next to a big car park, so they can have space for all the team buses, etc., rather than having it on a main road in a high street. But it does mean that all the businesses miss out on people being able to watch it sitting on their terraces drinking beer and coffee. It's quite a short neutral zone, just passing through the chalets, etc., on the outskirts of town here, so the racing will be kicking off pretty quickly. And kilometre 0 starts approximately here, just as the road angle starts to kick up ever so slightly. And you can expect there to be some attacks right from the off, because once we hit Megève, it's a super fast descent from there down to Solange. So it'll be really difficult to establish a breakaway if one already hasn't been established by the time we hit Megève. But before Megève, we have a few kilometres of gradual uphill, which keep the speed of the peloton in check. The tour route will follow the main road for this segment, but I'm following the cycle path that runs parallel to it for fairly obvious reasons. So it's quite a long flat drag now between Solange and Magland, but despite being slightly downhill, it's going to be hard work because there's always a really strong valley wind through this sector, because the winds get constricted through this narrow point in the valley, and on a sunny day in the afternoon the winds always flow up valley, so in that direction, whereas we're cycling in that direction. So yeah, this section is really tough despite being ever so slightly downhill. But probably the biggest highlight reel for the camera cruise for the day will be that behind me, the Cascade de Apennaz. And on to the first meaningful test of the day, the Côte d'Arras Surface. Sustained segments of 8% or more, there's no pushover, there's only a mere appetizer for what's to come. If you're coming from the Chamonix direction, then this hairpin here, or the one just below it, are in my opinion the best place to be watching it. If you try and watch it in Solange, it'll be flying past you, you blink and you miss it, whereas here on the climb, it's significantly difficult enough that there'll be some noticeable time gaps between the front and the back of the race, so they'll be passing you for quite a while. And you'll also just about be able to see them as they're approaching from the valley bottom below, and then you'll both feel and hear the noise as it rises up the climb towards you. Plus, this next segment of road just along here is arguably the most spectacular on the whole race, so yeah, this is a great place to come and see it. The gateway to the main course for the day, the mighty ZWIFT. There are 3 different options to start the Col de ZWIFT. They'll be taking this one, which comes in right from the middle of town, getting the best spectacle. And it's steep basically from the off. If I remember correctly, that first kilometre or so averages over 10%. It's an absolutely brutal start to a climb. In the full glare of the afternoon sun as well. It's always really hot. I have a full video just on the Col de ZWIFT, which you can find on the screen somewhere. So I won't go into too much detail here. If you want to find out more, you can watch that video as well. But yeah, despite its relatively modest elevation, this is definitely one of the toughest climbs on the Tour de France roster. So my nice shiny new sunglasses fell out my pocket on this steep bit of climb. Didn't realise for a couple of kilometres, so I decided to go back down and get them. Good news is, 1, I found them, 2, I've not been driven over by a car. But this does mean that, given the time of day now, I'm gonna have to start heading down. I think that's a safer option. Head back home. I'm still a long way from home if I go over the col. But as for the Tour de France FEMMES, from the top of the Col de Jouplan, I'll descend down to Morzine, which is a steep technical descent. Fingers crossed for them that it's nice and dry like it is today. From Morzine, descend a little bit further, and then there's one more shorter but steep col. From then on in, it's a long drag up to the finish line in Chatel. So yeah, pretty damn tough ride. Technically, the stage before is the Queen stage of the tour, but there's really not much separating this stage and the previous stage, which finishes in the Col de Madeleine. 2 back-to-back tough mountain stages, so it's a really tough end to the tour, and it's really going to separate out the wheat from the chaff. It's great to see that they've added an extra day to the women's tour this year, and it's getting harder and harder every year. The trust in the women to be able to perform on such tough stages, so that's great to see. And yeah, fingers crossed that continues on into next year. But for me now, like I say, need to head home before it gets too dark.